Good morning, my people. Please hit the like button to let me know that you can hear me clearly. Then I can get on with what I need to get on with. Last night, I wanted to play the audio of the interview between Gab News and Andrew's mayor candidate Dean Baber, and apparently, I had the wrong cord hooked up and it did not serve the purpose that I wanted it to serve last night. So I'm going to, as soon as somebody hit the like button, let me know that they can hear me. I'm gonna I'm getting ready to go through this audio of this thing. Again, last night I was having some technical difficulties that uh, prevented that from happening. But I think this morning, I think that I have figured out what I did wrong last night, which was put up. I put I had the wrong cord. I had the wrong size cord and it wouldn't work properly. So we fixed that. Just like last night I was dropping bombs and everybody was like, we don't hear the bombs. So I think I fixed that also. So it would help if you are watching this to hit the like button so I can get on with the shizzle. Let's fix this part here first. So grab your coffee, go ahead and get your phone set up and all that good stuff. Good morning. This is Welcome to Andrew's Podcast. This is my coffee. Yes, gas station coffee this morning because I don't have any creamer. I like hazelnut creamer. No sugar, just a little hazelnut creamer. And I don't have that this morning, so I had to go to In Market and grab me a cup of coffee. The In Market coffee is pretty good. Pretty good. Again, if you can hear me clearly, please hit the like button. Somebody hit the like button so we can talk about Raymond's puppet. Raymond has a puppet. Okay, I see that. Thank you, Miss Staggers, for that like there. So apparently you can hear me clearly. Again, tonight, Andrews High will be taking on Hannah Pamplico. Game time is 7:30 at Weber Riles Stadium. So please make your way over there to the stadium. And again, we're going to be broadcasting a game, not this Friday. I will announce this Tuesday as to what game we're going to be broadcasting live here on Welcome to Angels the Podcast. And it won't be your just one camera, you know what I mean? You're trying to, see. No. Multiple camera shoot, a whole production, dare I say. Again, good morning and welcome to Welcome to Angels the Podcast. No bomb threats today. Just don't answer the phone at the school. Turn the phones off. Turn the phones off. And don't answer it. Now, somebody said that they made an arrest already. Well, let's go check. I think something happened. They had something on Live 5 News. Let me go to the handy dandy computer here. Let's get down in here. Live 5 News. So again, what I'm talking about, Raymond's puppet. I'm talking about Councilman Georgetown County Councilman Raymond Newton, and the fact that the candidate for mayor of Andrews, South Carolina, named him. That was the only person he named when asked about um, the people that he referred to, that he got counsel from, the leaders and all these other people, these nameless leaders again, that that encouraged him or gave him the courage to run for the mayor's position in Andrews, South Carolina. So again, last night I wanted to play that audio, wanted to play the video, but it hasn't been put up on. Let me check whether or not it's up on the website. Because if it's on the website, we can do the audio, or if it's on YouTube, we can do the audio. But streaming it through Facebook, there's issues with that. Now, I won't be able to do much for the sound because and that's the reason why Mr. Baber, I wish you would have came and done the interview with me. You reached out to me. You never got back to me. You left the meeting early. I didn't get your number, none of that other stuff. And because he didn't do you no favors now with the sound. He did you no favors because a lot of people can't hear you. That's what I keep hearing. Oh, we can't hear him. What is he saying? So we're going to get into it, and I would love it if you let me know whether or not you can hear this clearly or not when I start playing. Not this part. Obviously, you can hear me now, but when I start playing this video, and the video is of the interview conducted by Scott Harper from Gab News, who did a good job with the questions, and between him and mayor candidate Dean Baber. I'm going to, oh, all right, so let's find this interview here. Let me see. Maybe he put it on the website by this time of night. I don't know. We'll see. That didn't come up. Okay, 2 charged in recent bomb threat, which is good news. Good news. Good news. Good to hear. Good to hear. Let's see what we got here. Waccamaw High School bomb threats. Andrews High. Hmm. 2 arrests have been made in connection with bomb threats at 2 different Georgetown County schools. The first happened August 9th at Waccamaw High School when threats were made on Snapchat. Georgetown County Sheriff's Office says a student who was identified early in the investigation has been charged. At one point, it was speculated someone may have stolen the student's photo from social media page and made the threat in his name. Originally, the juvenile denied involvement in making the threats and asserted that the actual perpetrators used an old photo of his posing with airsoft gun. The Georgetown County Sheriff's Office Computer Crimes Unit worked with Snapchat law enforcement portal, to unequivocally identify the perpetrators. The investigation concluded that the student in the photo had indeed issued the threat. The sheriff's office says the student remained at home for the duration of the investigation. He will be subject to the school's disciplinary policy for this offense. And again, the rest of that, you can find the rest of that article on Gab News. So again, go over there and check that out. But it's good to hear that they did find the alleged suspects. And I say alleged because that's all it is at this point. It's allegations. All right, so let's get into this this puppet show. Into the puppeteer. Again, this you can find the full interview on Gab News. Now, I need somebody like quickly before I get into doing this whole thing. All right, can you hear this? Did you hear that bomb? Somebody hit the like button if you heard that bomb. Matter of fact, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. Because last night, again, I did this and with the questions. And I'm going to, all right, so let's find this interview here. You hear this. All right, so it should be good. Because I guess that the cover charge for I can do it myself. Yeah, the cover charge for the like button apparently is kind of high this morning. So that's why nobody's touching it. It's all good. I'm giving discounts though. Giving discounts. Giving discounts. Let's get back to this thing here. Let's change this up to that. There you go. Y'all see the Cash App there if you would like to donate to Welcome to the Podcast. But let's see if anything changes from this.
I'm 53 years old. I've been pastoring, senior pastor now for 30 plus years. I've been a part of meetings and conferences and business, and so I have some insight about leadership. So, but we just wanted to take some time to just generally, briefly introduce who I am.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point.
In case then you ain't heard nothing yet, get ready to hear this thing that I'm getting ready to put on the screen here. Again, this is the interview between this gentleman on screen here and Gab News. So without further ado, let's get into the interview that was conducted on yesterday.
What I'm seeing is two sides trying to figure out.
What I'm seeing is...
And a very good Thursday afternoon. We are here as promised to talk about politics in the town of Andrews. Of course, just like Georgetown and just like Pawleys Island, there's an election coming up in November, and this is for town council and the mayor's seat in Andrews. And two candidates on the ballot for the position of mayor. We've got Mayor Frank McCleary running for re-election. And right here you see on the screen his opponents. Mr. Dean Baber, I should say Pastor Dean Baber, is his opponent on the November ballot. Of course, a nonpartisan election in Andrews. First of all, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for doing this today.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation.
And before we get into the meat of the conversation about the issues and things, tell people.
again, guys, the audio on Mr. Baber is horrible, and that's because Gab News put out horrible audio. So if it's hard to hear him, let me know, and I'll turn his side up. Okay. So here we go.
About yourself, people who's been in Andrews forever know you, but there's a lot of newcomers.
Yeah.
So tell us who you are and what you want people to know about you.
Well, I'm 53 years old, been in Andrews off and on all my life. My dad moved to Andrews when I was 15, pastored Andrews First PH Church where I pastor now. And I graduated Andrews High School in 1988 and left, went to Bible college and started pastoring right after Bible college. And I've been pastoring for 30 years. Came back to Andrews about 11 years ago. And so since then, we've been here for 11 years, serving the church, serving the community. And but pretty much on and off, almost the bulk of my life, I've been in the Andrews area.
Mm-hmm. And what church is it?
Andrews First PH Church.
Okay. And you say you've been there 11 years.
Yes.
And before that, you were?
I was in Florence, Christian Assembly Church. Okay. Was in Florence, and we pastored there for 10 years.
Okay. Well, now let's talk about your decision to run for mayor. When you made your announcement on Facebook, you did a video. One of the things you said is you consulted with some individuals, maybe some county council people or whatever. Yeah. Who specifically did you talk to about that?
Well, before I made it.
All right, so Scott asked him a direct question. He asked him, who specifically did you talk to that encouraged you to run for the mayor's position in Andrews, South Carolina?
Decision, I feel it's necessary to get as much counsel as possible. So I talked to some religious leaders, I talked to some county council.
Can you say who the county council people?
Well, it's just different individuals. I mean, I don't want to go into detail of who.
You don't want to go into detail with who. There's only 7 county council individuals, right? There's 7, and 2 of them represent Andrews. So it's either Raymond Newton or Everett Carolina. And other than that, I don't know why any other council members, Georgetown County council members would be interested in Andrews, which is not their district. So again, good question, Scott. And let's see what Baber says.
Necessarily. It was just basically for me to say, all right, I need some counsel on where we need to go with this. And,
who specifically?
And how we run with this election. So I talked to pastors, talked to my bishop, talked to some county council, talked to some leaders in the local town of Andrews as well. And
but you can't say names. So
no, it's more of for me.
Great question, Scott. You're saying leaders. These are people that's out in front. They are leaders. That's what lead out in front. They're out in front, leading, not from the back, not from their hidden places or wherever, from the front, leading. Who are they? Good question, Scott.
It's more of, tell me where we're at, tell me what, if I can help, that type of, but name-wise, I mean, it's, when you talk about the names, you probably could say the local leadership. I've talked to some pastors in the local leadership. County.
Guys, listen carefully. And again, go over to Gab News and watch this thing, because here you won't see the body language, okay? The body language is, oh my God, it's amazing. It is amazing. And in the interview, we're just 3 minutes into the interview and can't get a straight answer already. And it's just, Mr. Baber, I'm sure you're a good man. Just not for this job, sir. And that's just my opinion.
Council, I have talked to Raymond Newton before in county council, and there's others that have come.
What about Everett Carolina?
No, haven't talked. No.
Okay.
So it's been basically about a handful of people that I've talked to say, how can I help? what should or can I? Just the counsel of where to go with that.
Now, any of the people you spoke with, did any of them say, no, I don't think you should run?
No, they all had the same question. Are you sure you want to?
Mm-hmm.
Not a negative or a positive, but it's been mostly, are you sure you want to run because of the issues and the concerns and the problems that Andrews faces? And each one in our conversation was, yes, I'm sure I want to run. But I'm not political in that sense of politics or party. It's more for me of relationship with people. So the politics.
So he says he's got a relationship with Rayomond Newton. And I challenge any of you in the town of Andrews to figure out what Rayomond Newton's relationship is with the town of Andrews. Again, he's a Georgetown County Council that represents the split up district in Andrews, right? Him and Everett Carolina, who's another name that was mentioned. Now, he said he didn't talk with Mr. Everett Carolina. Okay, I didn't suspect that he did. And I'm sure Mr. Carolina is relieved that he said that. But he's talked to Rayomond Newton and a handful of people. Are these could these be the same handful of people that prior to 1992 were the people that got Andrews into this situation because they didn't do their job? Are these the people that are resurfacing after 30 plus years when they wanted this thing to fail? They gave it up to fail. And now that it's not failing, oh, we want it back. And here's our guys. We're going to send in the Great White Hope and divide this town up and forget the issues. Forget the real issues. He doesn't have to know anything. I even heard him say later in let me let him talk.
Part, I'm new to the politics part. And the political part, I kind of probably, I guess, resist to some degree. But I just felt like it was time to jump in and say, how can I serve? How can we make this better?
And of all the people you spoke to, were they all saying, we will support you, or, we feel you should run? There's a big difference. Just because they say you should run doesn't mean they're going to vote for you.
They probably told him don't say their names the way he just acted on that first question. Good job, Scott.
Right.
Or support you.
There, in the conversations, it was somebody needs to run, number one. Mm-hmm. And, we talked through it. And for me being a pastor, I prayed about it. I talked to my executive council of the church, and it was basically somebody needs to run. Yet all of it wasn't necessarily a positive comments to where, it's going to be an uphill battle. Are you sure you want to do this? Can you win if you run? And so there was positive and probably a little bit of caution in some of the council.
Now, one of the things that, people might ask is, why run for mayor? Why not run for a seat on town council first, see if you like it, and then 4 years from now, run for mayor if you like it? Why go to the table and, before you know if you enjoy the meal, before you want to sit at the head of the table?
Right.
Yeah.
Great question, Scott. Great question. And it's a reasonable question. The question was, why not run for town council, get in there, figure out what's going on before you jump to the head of the table when you don't even know what's going on? Why do that? And his answer is,
I mean, that's a great question. For me, it's never been my intent, or has in the past never been my intent, to run for mayor or town council or any political office whatsoever.
so that's about how much thought has been put into this. It's not his intent. It's somebody else's intent. It's Rayomond Newton's intent. This is what he's saying. He never had any intentions to run for mayor. And now
The last 4 years in Andrews, there's been more talk and conversation, even within my own camp that says we need to get involved. I need to get involved. Right now, our church, we affect the town from the outside.
They want to get involved, but they're not at any town council meetings. They're not like, what do you want to change? What is it that you want to change? Guys, I encourage you, because you're not getting the full effect of this interview because you don't see his body language. Again, good job, Scott, on the interview. I have no complaints. The audio, I do have some complaints. The audio part. But anyway.
Whether it's mobile ministry or cleaning up streets or doing whatever that is, we kind of affect from the outside in. And this time, it was, how do we affect from the inside out? And for me, it was, it's time to go to the head of the table, like you said, so that we can affect from the inside. When it comes to going through town council or being mayor, I just felt like it was the time now to step in and go, all right, this is the moment. Can we make this change? And can I do what the mayor does? And basically we came to that conclusion. Yes, this is the time to step forward.
You say you can do what the mayor does. Mayor Frank McCleary is retired military.
Yes.
So he's got 24 hours a day he can devote to this job.
Right.
You say you're going to stay pastor. You don't plan to retire from pastorship.
Yeah.
So how do you have the time that he has to do this job?
Well, I mean, and again, he is, and I've said this before to other people.
Now, keep in mind, guys, we've seen what he's getting ready to say before, okay? And he's immediately telling us, okay, my sound keeps going in and out. Thank you.
I like Frank. Frank's a great guy. And I think Frank's a great leader at being a current. But when it comes to...
It's Mayor Frank. Sir.
The time as a pastor, I commit to the church or the community. It's just an extension of the ministry that I already have.
So he's saying that him running the town and the church, it'll just be an extension of what he's already doing. Naive.
Being the mayor of a town, as complicated as Andrews is, and even as somewhat dysfunctional as Andrews is, the time is still the same time. We say 24 hours a day. Well, my ministry as a pastor is 24 hours a day. You're always on call. The phone's always...
So if you're always on call as being a pastor, how is it that you're going to balance being a full-time mayor at this point? The problem that has plagued Andrews prior to Mayor McCleary coming in is that we never had a full-time mayor. Okay, it was always a part-time mayor, and because the mayor's job in Andrews only pays $600 a month. Okay, so, and for the amount of work that's required, no. And then now he's talking about delegation, which is a good word, but like that's not the reality of the situation. You do delegate, okay? You got department heads and stuff like that, but it sounds as if, because his idea is that somebody's going to come in and help him. He don't have a clue as to what his job is, and I just fear once it becomes too much, once it starts to affect his church family, and it will affect his church family. Because again, Scott asked some great questions coming up here in a second. You cannot discount the fact that we have an available mayor right now. You cannot, you can the time, and you should not do that. You should not lie like that. I should say that, because in your heart of hearts it's just say, hey, I don't have the time or something else, but don't try to discount the fact that this man is committed to this. Okay. And are you retired from somewhere? So where does your income come from? From pastoring? So you're gonna push that to the side for the $600 a month? This is dangerous, guys. I'm telling you.
Always on. It's the same thing. The phone's always going to be there, whether it's for church or whether it's for community or whether it's for mayor. You always are on call. You're always available. So this is just an extension of the ministry or the.
No, it's not an extension of the ministry, because there's a bunch of unique situations that take place running a town that you're not going to come across running a church.
The community effort that we already do. So time-wise, if we do it right, the mayor shouldn't do everything. If we do it right, the mayor shouldn't be the one that makes every decision and does everything. It should be delegated to the town council, delegated to the police department, delegated to the fire department, delegated to those that are responsible. Yes, the buck stops.
So what is there to say that this isn't being done now? You're assuming that the mayor is trying to run the police department, the water department. You decide, like,
here, so to speak, but delegation and relationship is what makes it better. So I think, yeah, I'm well able to do within this period of time, is delegate the responsibilities, which I think we miss now, but we need to delegate the responsibilities so that people other than the mayor is able to make decisions without all of the control.
But what if on one Thursday, the third Thursday?
He said people other than the mayor need to be able to make decisions.
Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
At 4:45 p.m., you get a call that one of your church members has been rushed to the hospital, something life-threatening. You've got a town council meeting at 5:30.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Well, it all depends. There's elders in our church. We have other ministry people in the church that are well able to take care. If I can't be at a certain emergency, there's elders that go for me that take the place of the church. Also, when it comes to town council, things like that, there's an assistant mayor there, and
it's not called assistant mayor; it's called mayor pro tem. You might have an assistant pastor, but there's no such thing as an assistant mayor. There's a mayor pro tem. And I think you're about to tell us that mayor pro tem is probably going to be the one that's pretty much running the city, because you're going to be too busy doing what you do.
We've got to, for me, people will always come first. And for me also, with the church, we're set up now to where eldership can take a great load off of me. So when it comes to town council, things like that, there's people that are in the ministry now with me that are able to take the load from me to where I can do both things at the same time.
Now, as far as experience goes, that's one thing we've heard is that, you don't have the experience. For town council or mayor, you haven't been either. So why should people vote for you? You don't have the experience.
Well, I mean, if we go back to when Mayor McCleary came in, he didn't have the experience either in the sense of being political. Experience.
Okay, so just real quick, because you just said something. You said when it was back when Mayor McCleary came in, he didn't have experience as far as political. Yes, you're right. But he had just literally retired from the military, where I don't know if you're aware of what colonels do in the leadership responsibilities of a colonel, but there's a difference when you're dealing with thousands of people running a bases much larger than Andrews, when you're dealing with. So he brought a unique set of skills with him when he came in as the mayor of Andrews. And as from that date until now, there is documented, okay? You can see where he took the town from here to here. You can see it, okay? Paperwork. There's money in the town's coffers now. Excuse me. Those grants, they're coming in now because Andrews is doing business the right way. A lot of the systems that were failing, the water system, the pumps for the sewer and all this stuff, that's what cost Andrews a lot of money for a long time. But what's the situation of it now?
Experience is not so much you have the experience to be political. Being mayor, town council, meetings, for 30 years I've been experienced in how to have a meeting, have an agenda, set the tone, delegate.
In 30 years, he's been experiencing knowing how to have a meeting, set the agenda. And I just say to you, go look up what the word agenda means. Any of you watching right now, go look up what the word agenda means. And he sets the agenda, he sets the tone. He's saying nothing. He's saying nothing. This is what puppets sound like.
Those experiences or delegate those circumstances. And so when it comes to experience, I think the greatest experience.
Did he say delegate those circumstances? You delegate responsibilities. You don't delegate circumstances.
A person can have is relationships, because relationships is mending the fences, mending the bridges, and getting to the place to where people realize that it takes.
So you can come in and you can be the relationship guy, right? Relationships. You sound like Joe Biden, man.
More than one, it takes more than two, it takes more than three. It takes, some people say a tribe, but it takes leadership and giving people the responsibility to lead. So, leadership is not. I've heard one person in one of the meetings I was in a long time ago when it came to leadership. I think it was a John Maxwell quote. If you think you're leading and nobody's following, you're just taking a walk. Leadership is not so much having to do everything. Leadership is taking the responsibility to making sure it gets done. And I think that's the role the mayor should be.
Hey, y'all, make sure y'all go over to Gab and watch this interview. I want you to see the body language along with
is being able to set the tone, making sure things get done, delegate those things, and then say, you know what, follow me, lead by example, and then give other people tasks to do.
And I'm going by what people say. So I don't know if this is true or not.
Yeah.
Tell me if this is true or false.
Yeah.
But you have not attended any town council meetings since even the month. So they used to live stream the meetings for Andrews. They don't anymore. Is that something you would bring back?
Yeah, I don't have it. I think the more people are involved and see what's going on, I think it's better.
Okay.
So live stream would be great.
Well, let me ask you about some of the issues, and these are what if questions. What if you were mayor when this happened?
Okay.
The water bill situation.
All right, listen, I'm not going to go through all this, right? Because it gets crazy. I encourage you to go over to Gab and check it out. Again, tonight, Edgeside football is be going down at Jacket Stadium, Weber Rao Field, 7:30 is the start time. They'll be taking on Hannah Pamplico. Jackets are now currently 2-1, and so we can see if we can run that up to 3-1 tonight. So if you are in town, make sure you get out there to support your Yellow Jackets. Andrews High School football, baby. You know what it is. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. So please, man, get in the comment section to tell me what you think about this situation we got going in Andrews. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of seats up for town council. So I will send out the invites because I want to do a public forum live where all the candidates come up, sit, talk, you know what I mean, and kind of do that on live so that we can get some direct real-time field feedback from the citizens of Andrews and get some questions from the people, directly from the people. So I am looking forward to doing that. I will be, again, Tuesday is going to be the day that make a lot of decisions coming Tuesday as far as what we're doing next. So stay tuned for that. Again, go check out that article on Gab News. It's on his Facebook page and not on the website. Again, the audio is kind of low, but I think you'll get the gist of of the conversation or whatever. So, but yeah, it's got good questions. I'll give you that much on this one. Anyway, let me go to work.